Everybody, my name is Mel Wakeman. I'm a registered nutritionist, and today I'm going to bring you some tips on how to look after your gut. Now, we can't really talk about guts and digestion without mentioning poo. So poo is very much a taboo subject. So what I really want to do is get us talking a little bit more freely about it. It's very much something that we go and do on our own. We lock ourselves away. What goes on in the toilet stays in the toilet, and we don't discuss it. God forbid we go and speak to a doctor about if we're worried about what we're seeing ending up in the toilet. So I'm going to bring you a guide to what to look for in poo, what's good, what's not so good, and what we can do to better our general digestion. And that gives all sorts of ripple effects that affect lots of aspects of our health and well-being. So with Easter on the horizon, I am using chocolate, okay, to demonstrate and show you the differences in different poo consistency. So if you're eating a lunch, that's fine. You might want to watch this later. Okay, so starting at one end of the spectrum, we're thinking about constipation. Okay, so constipation is when you're struggling to go to the toilet. You're going infrequently or irregularly. And generally, the rule of thumb is what's normal for you is okay if you're not struggling to go to the toilet. So you may be a sort of 2 or 3 times a day, like clockwork kind of person. You may be twice a week, and that's normal for you. You have no issues with that. We sort of define constipation as infrequent toileting, less than 3 times a week. And the reason that we need to be going to the toilet regularly is that it's a way that we can eliminate toxins, waste products, and anything indigestible that we've eaten. So it really helps to sort of cleanse our body essentially by getting rid of those waste products. Now, when we're constipated, what's happened is that our gut has slowed down. And that may be because we're not eating enough fibre, because fibre actually sort of physically stimulates the gut and keeps it moving in terms of encouraging you to go to the toilet. It may also be that you're not eating or drinking enough fluid. So water is hugely important to help keep your poo soft so that it's easy to pass. Okay, so we're going to start at one end of the spectrum with number 1, and we have Maltesers. Okay, so really what we've got here is poo that is distinctly separate. We've got separate pieces. These are hard, and you can imagine that they're going to be pretty hard to pass. So the reason that they're like that is that this poo has stayed in the gut for too long and it's dried out. So as it stays in the gut, we take water back into the body and we end up with hard segments of poo. Not very comfortable, and being constipated is more likely to give you piles or hemorrhoids. Okay, moving on to number 2. We have a lion bar. So if your poo looks like this, you might see that it's rather large, it's quite firm, it's hard still, and there'll probably be lots of cracks in the surface. That's pointing to the fact that it's probably too hard still. Perhaps you need more fibre, definitely more fluid. Get your gut moving so that you get rid of this more effectively. It's also going to be kinder on your bum if you don't have to pass that out. Toffee crisp. Okay, number 3. This, as you can see, compared to our lion bar, is nice and smooth. There aren't really many cracks in it, and it's much softer in consistency. So you can imagine that's going to be much easier to pass when you go to the toilet. This is what we call a normal poo. This is one of the poos that we should be striving for by eating more fruit and veg, more fibrous products, and drinking more liquid. Next we've got number 4, a twirl. Okay, again, this is ideal. Like number 3, this is a normal poo. So of course they're going to vary in colour and size and so on, but generally, again, this is going to be nice and easy to pass. It's soft and crumbly, and so that will go down the toilet quite nicely. So aim for stage 3 and 4. Now we're starting to get a little bit runnier. Okay, so sometimes our gut can actually move too quickly, and that might be if our gut's irritated in any way. So that could be following from a bout of foodborne illness or food poisoning, or if you've got some irritation, if anyone's ever suffered from sort of lactose intolerance or wheat sensitivity, you may find that you're having to go to the toilet more often. And certainly with inflammatory conditions like colitis and Crohn's, people find that actually literally having to run to the toilet. So we're moving towards the diarrhea end of the spectrum, okay? So here I've got my pot number 5, and these are rather soft. I've got crunchy rocks actually, but these are softish bits of poo. Soft edges, still quite separate, and they're quite well defined, but they're very small. So they'll be very easy to pass and a little bit more liquidy and runny compared to our normal poo. Then we move down to number 6, okay? These are my chocolate covered raisins, okay? So these are, again, nice and soft. They're small, they're fluffy, okay? So again, no real sensation in patting them, much higher fluid content, because literally everything's been rushing through your gut to get out. So there isn't time for your body to absorb the nutrients in terms of your products of digestion and the fluid that your body needs. So much, much softer. And then our last one is runny. Now, I've experienced this in terms of dealing with my son's diarrhea last week. Certainly wasn't this colour, it's bright yellow, but there we go. Right, liquid. There is no solid matter whatsoever. So that is your classic watery diarrhea, okay? That ultimately is not good for you at all if that's persistently happening. And likewise, number 6, if you've got very, very soft, fluffy poo or liquid poo, that's going to mean that you're not having the opportunity to absorb the nutrients in your diet, and also for this one you're at risk of dehydration because all that's liquid. So particularly if you're young, you're old, you're pregnant, you've got other health conditions, that is a bit of a worry. So hopefully that's more of a transient thing as part of your body's trying to do its best to get rid of products, but persistent diarrhea is not good. So that's our run through in terms of poo. What we need to do is be keeping more active and more mobile. That keeps our metabolism up and helps to keep our gut moving. We need to be having more fibre in our food, okay? So from whole grain cereals, whole grain rice, pasta, lentils, beans, nuts, fruit and vegetables, great fibre foods that help absorb fluid in the gut, get it moving, get it active, and help you get rid of all those waste products. And of course, drink plenty of fluid. If you have more fibre and don't have enough fluid, you'll probably find you're going to get really windy, really bloaty and quite uncomfortable. So next time I'll be talking, I think, about, what are we talking about? Probiotics, bacteria, FODMAPs and all sorts. So hopefully that you found that useful, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for Poop Doc.